Mark ran away forever. Been abandoned. Woohoo.
guys. We'll get started in just a few minutes here. AR, why don't you say a couple words?
Okay. Gotta get used to doing this on Sunday.
I believe we're doing it because I think you're coaching basketball.
No, I got it. Well, I'm doing PA for basketball tomorrow. It was
Okay.
rescheduled from a snow delay
Yeah.
or snow cancellation.
Yeah, that makes sense. Dev, say a few words.
Wow, you actually got snow.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's been a weird thing where it's like the last 2 weeks and apparently this week also it's supposed to be on Thursday. We're just getting dumped and the rest of the week is fine. But only on Thursdays.
you must be so excited this week in Dev with all the slime stuff they've announced.
Tell me. Wait, no.
Oh
I
wait.
was stuck at the convention with like no internet
Oh,
service the
okay.
whole
So
weekend.
they announced an OVA. They announced
Fuck yes.
they announced like a bunch of stuff because I guess the 10th anniversary is coming up soon. I
For
think
what?
for I always forget the full title, but Dev knows it.
Uh, that time I got reincarnated as a slime.
Yeah,
Ah.
they're doing an OVA, some sort of 10th anniversary story. I think season 3 was coming soon.
Yeah, they announced it at the end of like the movie premiere.
Yeah, I guess they announced this at like the end of a movie event thing today. And
Ooh.
I think
Oh,
they're doing a stage play.
I want to see the thing.
They announced a bunch of stuff.
I have to go look that up after
Yeah.
this.
Okay, you guys ready to go?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
Welcome to the With the Will podcast. We're here to entertain and inform, but we'll talk about Digimon. I'm Mark, Run with the Will, and produce Digimon on Blu-ray.
I'm AR Pulver, the Scourge of Carpathia.
I'm DevQ and I lived, bitch.
I think AR wins this week, Dev. AR is just too good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's been a long week.
And a long weekend.
How is it that it's Sunday and we're to 2 deaths already today?
Yeah.
Belzer died, which is a weird one because he used to pop up all over the fucking place for people our age. He would just appear in things.
Mm-hmm.
To say nothing of how much he played Detective Munch on just like not just like cop shows. He would show up in the X-Files. He would show up in random shows as Munch. And then we also found out that Leiji Matsumoto died.
Aw.
Which if you're an anime
Oh.
or manga fan, even if you don't know his stuff, you don't get to like where like almost anything that exists today you could almost trace back to him in some manner. It's
Just
cart
about, yeah.
yeah,
At the
like
very least, everyone's been inspired in some
yes.
capacity
Especially when
by
it comes to stuff
Matsumoto.
like his structure and the
Yeah.
structure of the stuff he did. You don't end up with hell, you don't end up with Digimon without that structure, frankly.
I mean, I've said this before. Galaxy Express 39 was my gateway, so
It was a lot of people's gateway,
yeah.
especially the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was what did it for me. It's like, okay, I got to look into this anime thing.
Yeah. That's the one where there's people I know who don't watch anime. Like maybe they only deal with video games. They are still like Galaxy Express 999's on Blu-ray. I'm getting that immediately.
Oh yeah.
Even if they're not anime people, that's like the thing that's in the circle that everyone knows.
There was some 39 stuff in my box,
Yeah.
wasn't there? I think there was.
I don't
I might have to
remember.
I might have to dig that out.
And then yeah, I think I sent you the third one.
I think so, yeah.
And maybe some of the TV show, I don't remember.
Sounds right.
Yeah. And then I had the most fun wake up call today. Anyone who
Oh
has
no.
not everyone who has not had this happen won't know what I mean, but if you've had it happen, you're gonna be sitting going, yeah, I get it. Have you ever woken up and your eye hurts a bit and you realize, oh, it's like dust or something got in there while I was sleeping and you
Mm-hmm.
can't get it out and your eye just starts tearing unlimited? And then
Yes.
like you're in the shower, you try to get water on it, and it still won't come out, and then your eye
Mm-hmm.
just hurts. Then half an hour later, you realize it's not in there anymore, but now my eye has like a dull, pain, numb thing going on. It stays like that the whole day.
Yep,
Yeah.
been there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's not pleasant.
No, and it just like distracts you the whole fucking day.
My wake up call was my kid woke me up at 6:30 in the morning with a bloody nose. Not fun.
Yeah, that's
Was his first time
yeah.
getting one?
No, it was not his first time getting one, but runs in with blood leak is trickling everywhere, getting on his blanket and clothes and pillow and stuff.
Okay.
It's like, oh, this is
Okay.
great.
Not at the point yet where he goes, okay, bloody nose, jam some tissue up there, and then wait a while, and it will just deal with itself.
There was cleanup involved, yeah.
Yeah, not fun.
Peroxide gets blood out of fabrics very easily.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Dev went to Contown.
Oh yes, it was packed, and me and my partner realized, my God, we're old.
Yeah, that.
Oh, are you at that point now? That's always disappointing.
See, here's the problem.
It's like you wake up and like every body part hurts and just like freaking noises.
Here's the problem, AR. I'm pretty sure Dev was at the ugh, I'm old, damn the young people when I first met her. And she went
that is true.
Yeah. Like Dev I don't remember the exact age me and Dev met. 10-ish, 15-ish years ago, but I remember even at that young age, Dev was exactly the, for lack of a better phrase, the parody of the young person who does not want to be around young people. She's like, damn all these young people. Where's my coffee?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
I've
been
that's
like
what
that for a
happens
while.
when you had to go to school with people and you were
Yeah,
autistic.
I did that also.
Yeah.
And then we actually get to talk about a Ghost game that I think we're all happy with.
Yes, surprisingly.
Yes. I have notes, but it was a lot of fun.
And here's the problem. It is the most un-Ghost game episode there is to be the best Ghost game there is.
I literally had to watch it an hour ago after a 5-hour drive
down to and including after 60 plus episodes, chucking out the narrator intro. No one is joining the show after 60 episodes. You can gladly chuck that out.
Yeah, they also changed. They kind of switched up the eye catch a little bit too. The sounds were a little different.
They've done what it is they've done that a few times where they don't do the eye catch sound and instead they're playing like episode audio. They've done that a handful of times. It's just much more noticeable here because important stuff is happening.
And the audio was so subdued.
Yes. Yeah, it was more noticeable, but they have done that before.
It was almost like it's almost like it's replaced with kind of a dull silence, and it ramps up the tension just a little bit more. Yeah.
So we start off the episode with a boat. And when we first saw the boat, my brain went, did we not just do this like 4 or 5 episodes ago?
Like, is this one going to run aground again?
Yeah. And it's a notice about docking soon. We get people banging on the door of the steering room. The captain's freaking out. Fog's appearing. I don't know what to call it. I just kind of call it like the digitizing ring around.
It's
around his head, holding.
I don't know if we ever got a term for that, or if that's been a consistent thing.
It's shown up in different forms, but yeah. We get a zoom out from the boat and a familiar shadow behind it.
Here we go.
Yep. And the boat is starting to arrive late, and someone goes, huh, there was no forecast for fog, right as more fog shows up. The people...
That was so confused.
Zombie time.
That was so silly to me. It's like, the boat's late. There's a weird fog setting in. Yes. Oh, there's the boat.
Well, also, one character even goes, it must be the fog, which is completely logical to the point that
it makes total sense. Yeah.
Yes. And then everyone walks out. I don't know if I want to say zombie mind control. It feels like you could flip a coin if you want to call them zombie-ish or mind control, even though it was mind control. The way they were walking felt more zombie to me.
Ain't right.
Yeah.
And also, to just make sure you're fully aware something is going on, they have to have the glowy yellow eyes. They can't just look normal and also be zombie walking. They have to have the glowing eyes.
Yeah, because that's when you know you're fucked.
clear
Yeah.
that this is not normal.
Then we get Hiro. I forgot their name for half the episode. It's Fukatsu
Taro and
and
Fukatsu.
Kotaro. Him, Gamamon, Hiro on a platform to go fishing. I like I really love Gamamon. Like, I need a fishing rod. I see fish. And then
He's so excited.
I just love the fact that we have this massive crisis coming and all the Digimon flooding into the human world, and Hero's response to that, even though he's been thinking about this problem for 40 episodes, his response to that is fuck off for a fishing trip.
yes.
Sometimes you just need to hang out with your bros who are absolutely desperate.
And then they jump to that. I always forget what they call it. Do they just call it like the Digimon community or whatever it is?
They just call it a meetup.
Yeah.
The monster party.
And Clockmon's explaining.
It's the monster.
Mash.
It's the monster disco.
And Clockmon is detailing what's happening, almost as if we're supposed to take this as being 5 minutes from after the last episode, even though that doesn't make any sense with the fishing and everything else.
No, it better not be 5 minutes afterwards. It's
no,
like,
but I mean,
all
like,
this stuff happenings and Hero's alarm beeps. So like, well, gotta go fishing.
No, I 100% agree. But the framing is like, oh, Clockmon came and got everyone, and now he's explaining.
Yeah,
Except that doesn't work at all.
They need to have a little bit of a recap, I suppose.
And then, because the joke has to get funnier, Gumdramon helps explain what's going on. A voice said run, and they found a tear in space, and to help us make Hunter's jokes.
Yeah.
Which it's not it's not funny when Gumdramon's actually there.
Yeah. It's useful context though, because we don't always get things from the Digimon's perspective. At least for the Digimon we can actually trust.
Yes.
I actually greatly enjoyed Floramon trolling Kyoshiro about it.
Yes.
Love it.
And Espimon, for some reason, Espimon has to explain the gate, even though all three kids have 100% seen gates before.
Yeah.
It's like to remind the audience what a gate is, because it's been a while.
It was a little bit of,
They stepped in the rip, they're in the human world, and Clockmon's like, where is that motherfucker? Where is he? I want to know where Hiro is. He looked funny. He could be doing all this. And then it goes back to Hiro and Co. They have no internet connection. The boat didn't show up. And Kiyoshiro is very upset that Hiro's not back, which is weird because at some point Kiyoshiro should be the clever one going, wait, weird shit's happening and we mysteriously can't get a hold of someone. In fact,
this is nothing to worry about.
Can't get a hold of three someones.
That's happened a few times before.
Yeah. And like Dev said, Floramon taunts with the fog.
It was just irresponsible for Hiro to leave in the first place, but
yes. And Ruli realizes her internet's out.
Say no to anyone.
Yeah.
That's true.
And I will say I very much appreciate how they're like, man, maybe there's just no internet right here. And everyone's like, no, it's normally fucking great. And then the internet's back.
Middle of the ocean's a perfect hotspot.
And then this is when everyone decides it's time to stop and mention, a bunch of people have disappeared lately, don't you know?
Like, that's not mysterious at all.
And then a boat shows up for Hiro and them, and they stop to note this is not the boat that was supposed to come for them, but they happily get on it without...
Get on it anyway.
And then, for some reason, it's the fucking crow guy. Like, it's 100% the crow guy. They sort of have Hiro recognize him, but they don't clarify it at all past, like, one glance going, Like,
that guy looks a little familiar.
And I think that is the end of any relevance of Crow Guy minus him being there. Like, they don't point him out past, like, that one weird look. Kiyoshiro's freaking out elsewhere, and on the boat they hear chanting. Gamamon wakes Hiro up. Weird shit's happening. They hear Kotaro screaming. There's more boats. People grab Kotaro and Fukatsu, and then Hiro gets grabbed and decides the thing to do is to pull off his floaty vest. And then their heads hurt. And then... I will say, the episode does a lot without a lot of time at this part of the episode, and it does it really well. And here's where we get what I think is the first real trip. Hiro activates a digital space. Both feel better, but it's only a tiny bubble around them rather than like all of it. And more fog appears. And
with the activating the field itself is kind of interesting because this is the first time, I think this is the first time that Heroes activated it without actually knowing that there's an enemy Digimon involved.
I think it's assumed, but also the interesting thing
Well,
is,
you say that, but they don't always assume very well.
but
Well, they probably also figured out that, like, whenever they activate a digital space, humans that aren't
yes.
affected by
that's-
Digimon go away.
But here's
That's a
the
nice
other
cheat.
weird thing is generally anything Digimon based has no issue with the field. The fog can't get in. They
Mhm.
they tripped on their own plot device. Theoretically, the fog should have no issue getting in the field, based on the rules that we've seen before. And then it's worth noting, neither Hero or Gamamon seem to be all that bothered by the field being a bubble.
They just seem
Yeah.
slightly just,
They-
Yeah.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
then
just pass on it.
and then we swap to Kiyoshiro, Estimon, Jellymon, trying to figure out what's going on. They get the digitizing rings. Kiyoshiro hits it, and Jellymon is the only person who comments on it. And Kiyoshiro's like, "Must be the fog field."
It's
Okay.
just a little extra upgrade on that Digivice that nobody ever,
yeah,
that
it's
never had
Like,
reason to come up
thanks,
before.
Hero's dad.
here's
It's
the main issue
interesting.
I have with the bubble. There has never been any definition what's actually going on with these up until now, to the point that it was never even clear that they were like generating it.
Yeah.
To me personally, it always came across as like going to another layer of like a network, sort of.
Yeah.
That's what I'd always assumed.
This-
Kind of like
They're popping into
sorta.
Digicords.
Yes, that's exactly what it seemed like. Now, apparently, they're actually generating the field. And the field has a different size based on what's happening, even though that's never really,
That's really far-fetched.
yeah, like that. Has there ever been a case when anyone is not even next to them, but pretty far away when someone hits the field, and others will go, "Oh, we're in a field, someone must have hit it."
Yes, that has happened before.
There's never been anything to try to tell us like that there's anything about these that like we should be taking as like actual generated data.
Yeah, I want to say it was the Clockmon Returns episode where one of the other kids was farther away and got hit, and it was like, oh, something's going on.
I think that's happened a few times, but I think that was the first time.
But they're usually like within like, it looks like a few like city blocks.
There's been
of each
times when
other.
it's been significantly further though.
Yeah.
That's why like I don't mind the idea of it being a bubble and compressing it based on what's happening. But it's interesting in that it's very strange that the thing compressing it is what should actually be ineffective based on the rules the show has set thus far.
I kind of have an issue with it being flexible based on what's happening in the story. That seems a little too convenient.
No, if it had been set up in the past that it was flexible, that'd be one thing. That we're not only just finding out about now, but that no one is actually bothered by it except Jellymon, and Jellymon would have been the first person to notice this in the past if something was going on.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Espimon points out people are coming up, and look, it's Kotaro trying to hug his best friend Kiyoshiro. Run. Lock the door. More fog. And Airdramon and Ruli diving at them. This is actually a great use of Airdramon, honestly.
Love that. That's a good moment.
This is much better than what they normally do with Airdramon, which is they have someone go, I'm going to go get Airdramon, and then they show them talking with Airdramon and he's being stubborn, and we have to play the game of like we're supposed to believe he's not actually going to help.
Also, the way these usually work is that when the whatever issue is going on is directly targeting the kids, one of the kids has always been invariably hit with it, and the other two escape and rail around it. Here, each of the kids finds their way out of trouble so that they can all deal with this together.
Yeah, and I like Airdramon, and I like how they save the banter with Airdramon until they're getting away, and it's basically Airdramon and Jellymon still arguing.
Yeah, it's just Airdramon being tsundere again.
And then Ruli's like, I got a ton of messages from here at once. It's like it was all backed up. And then they start hearing voice over the speaker.
Literally what happened at the convention.
And then the voice stops and the fog vanishes, and we get Espimon's scanning ability, which I can't recall if he's used in the anime.
I believe he
I've seen at least
has.
twice.
I want to say he has.
Okay, that's fair
before.
enough. But like, I don't recall. Have we seen him with the actual like manga eyes and everything
Yeah.
in the anime?
Yes, I think
Okay,
yes,
fair
we
enough.
have.
Fair enough.
Yes.
So they find a shoe. Okay. Hero finds a shoe, and then they find a shoeless man chanting, "The time has come," walking past, doesn't care. Everyone heads to the ocean. Nothing is really stopping them. Then Kotaro gets, it's that very stereotypical, it's in manga and anime horror a lot, and it even shows up in U.S. kids horror a lot. The neck twists around and goes all fucking like the head's gonna be upside down and everything. And
Oh yeah.
it does the visual very well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what this still they're doing all this very well. This part of it does seem plenty ghost gamey to me.
And
like
then
the Dagomon aspect of this episode is still within range of
Yes.
a typical ghost game episode.
And we get gills.
Solid.
We get gills, people turning into lizards. They continue to walk to the ocean, and then we see the shadow distance, and Angormon's just like, ah, shit.
Like, oh, it's this motherfucker.
He knows where this is going.
Hero also sees with the lizard people, and it's Dagomon. And Angormon is terrified because he knows him, and that joke immediately becomes useless and funnier when everyone who does not know Dagomon is also terrified.
As you would be.
Well, he's kind of big and
Yes.
ominously staring at them from the horizon.
And then
He sure looks strong.
And then we get the most stereotypical mind control horror thing. Everyone stops, turns to Hero, points at him, eliminate. And then we get
Ones are
light.
Daleks now.
And then all of a sudden we get light in the distance, and Kenna Weissman's there attacking Dagomon. And it's like, oh, I guess
that we didn't have to deal
yeah,
with the evolution.
I was gonna say
Yeah,
they realized
skip it.
we didn't like the warp and just skipped it.
Yeah.
And then it also shows us that everyone around Heroes was knocked out in the interim also. But then someone stumbles over to Hero, and Espimon flies and evolves, and Hover Espimon grabs him, and we have the Scooby Gang reunited.
Yay.
Yeah.
And then this is where like the character development would have been nice if they dealt with it. We get Kiyoshiro back to just like full on babbling.
Yeah.
Look, he's probably
Yeah.
watched way too much Eldritch horror.
And Lamortmon
He seems like a kid who'd be up on his Lovecraft.
Yeah. Lamortmon and Thetismon try to attack Digimon. Really don't do much at all.
Not at all. No.
And then they're teleported to daytime with a beautiful sky, and things start to grab the Digimon.
I love the juxtaposition of daytime being
Yes.
what's creepy.
Yeah.
Like, oh god, it's too bright, I'm scared.
Yeah. And then Heroes watching like just nothing is happening at all. They're just seeing and yelling. And then Hover Espeon pulls down his
Wow,
mask
my Digimon is tripping balls.
and throws down the umeboshi
which-
he was eating earlier, which is a callback to something I think we forgot to even mention because it was such a small nothing moment.
That, like I said, typical Ghost Game, having that really stupid moment in the first part of the episode, coming back to save the day in the ending. Ghost Game does that like every other week.
You know what bothers me the most about it?
They put it in an episode like this?
Anytime you see sour pickled plums in anime, there's always a reason you see it. And I sat there and I went, something's gonna happen with those fucking plums. I have almost never seen umeboshi show up in anime and it not ending up being a important plot thing.
Chekhov's umeboshi. Got it.
Yes. Yeah. And the sour taste wakes them up, and a blast from Kenna Weissman blows away the fog, which is odd because he had been doing that earlier and it didn't do anything. And Dagomon is gone, and everyone's back to normal, and the water bubbles. And oh, the shadow was actually a projection, and Dagomon was underwater, and it was a feint.
This is a video game boss.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's not only a video game boss, he looks like one because he hasn't rearized properly, so he still has like the digital like zap effect, which looks exactly like a
Yeah.
beat 'em up boss from the 90s.
It's concerning.
It's more concerning, he's not flashing orange, so you know he still has a lot of health.
Like, oh, how many bars am I down to now?
Trying to imagine the Latin
and-
music going on.
Yeah. And then his entire body turns black, and we see a bit of black vanish from Kenno Weissmon.
Yeah.
And
Like, that's not going to be related to anything later.
and then
yeah, well,
the-
this is where it's like it better be relevant later.
and then hey, look, the evolution timer's up, but only for Angoramon and Jellymon. And we see more black on Kenno Weissmon. And am I wrong, or right before the Seriousmon evolution, did we start to hear the beeping again and then it just stopped?
Yes.
I couldn't tell.
I swear we started to hear it for Kenno Weissmon, and then as the black appeared, the counter the beeping stopped.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go with that.
And a few people in chat are saying that yes, Heroes was beeping also, and then it just stopped. And we get Seriousmon, and Dagomon does. This is a very good fight. We get the blast, Seriousmon blasts back, knocks him over, and the fight is over, theoretically.
Yeah.
Everyone stops and goes, huh, which it's weird for everyone to stop and go, huh, he's more powerful than he normally is, when the entire framing was like, oh god, it's evil Jesus. But like they stopped to point out, oh,
like
he's
they're all terrified of him, but they're also aware of his limitations.
Yeah. And he's normally not completely black.
Like, oh, we're really scared of him, but one good hit from an ultimate.
Yes.
He'll go down.
And then a wave of tentacles goes for Hero before a digital field appears out of nowhere. A gate sucks him in. And then Cathilamon shows up with Hangyomon and Black Tailmon over.
Gotta say that this
He's like, fuck
this
this
is
guy.
why
This is weird.
This is why this
Yeah,
is why all this Dagomon being corrupted stuff needs to be relevant, because otherwise I can't really excuse this interruption.
Yes.
If all of that corruption stuff, if that leads to something, if that's a forebearer of something important later, then all's fine. But if he just went down like that and that was the end of it, I don't love that it ended this way.
Well,
I would have rather seen either a clean victory from Seriousmon or a corruption from Seriousmon.
Well, the other weird framing is Dagomon is supposed to be Cthulhu.
Right.
And then you have Cathilamon shows up, and no real relevant reason it's Cathilamon, except the framing of that is the character that Cathilamon's based on is supposed to be Cthulhu's daughter, I believe.
Something like
Yeah.
that, yeah.
But the show
Maybe.
makes no reasoning for it, minus that it just is Cathilamon.
Also, it was a little stretchy. Just Cathilamon wasn't exactly like, yay, I'll help out all I want. He just wanted to go off and have fun on his own. He wasn't necessarily...
Also, am I wrong? Was Cathilamon the explanation for why everyone vanished? Like, it was like, I took everyone across because I wanted to be helpful.
Maybe?
I could swear
I thought
Cathilamon's...
he just said it's like, oh, I just took the humans out of the water.
Yeah,
that
to
I
help.
found.
I thought it said that
well,
they took...
I don't know if it was before or after the fight. But...
And then Black Tailmon Uber hops over, needs Hero to sign something. He does, and he returns it. Uber just fucks off and leaves, and a gate opens, and we get, like, they frame it like with Hero's head, and we see Hakuto's foot, and Terriermon Joshu, the greatest Digimon who's never shown up in the anime before.
Yay,
The
Terriermon-
real MVP of the episode.
Terriermon
Yep.
Joshu is so much the MVP, it helps save budget by not talking in the episode.
Didn't even need to speak.
It just had to stand there and was like, holy shit, it's Terriermon
They should have
Joshu.
done the profile on him.
And then Gamamon jumps into Hakuto's arm. Everyone's shocked that it's the real Hakuto and not a hologram again. Espimon's all pissed off, and it finally clarifies for us that yes, he does believe this is Hero now, because
Yeah.
they
I
forgot
love
to
that-
actually tell us
yeah.
that.
I love that. I love that Gamamon and Espimon actually have like semi-emotional reactions to Hakuto, and Hero's like, "Huh? Oh, hi, Dad."
I'm not
That's
sure that
enough.
I'm not sure that counts because the episodes generally frame Hero as almost not paying attention. Like even at the beginning of the episode, even we all kind of said
This is who Hero is.
No, but that's what I mean. Like, that's not
He's
really
just
like.
associating half the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's an interesting facet of his
And
character. I don't think we're gonna get a contrast.
Okay,
though,
and then
I would really appreciate
then
that,
I have to
because
say,
I want Hero to be a little more three-dimensional than that.
and then I have to say, I've been waiting for them to do this the entire series, but I wasn't waiting for it in this episode because so much was happening. I'm like, I literally am typing it in my notes, and Goromon is puffery, and then bam, he's cut off.
Jump cut, love it.
The internet's down for everyone. We see the lights clicking out, and we see powers out everywhere.
And Goromon gets puffy, and we're just ready to pack in this episode, which was like, it was sufficient enough. Like, okay, we've got Hokuto showing up. We've got it. Like, bam. No, we're not done yet.
And then we get evil organ music, which is how you know we're getting near the finale. They always save that. Hokuto's worried. Clockmon is freaking out and even noting he doesn't know why he's trembling. And then it's showing us various Digimon throughout the series. They're like staring, crying, freaking out. They're not able to move. They don't know what's going on. And Goromon comments that it feels like warmth that has been around is gone now. Mummymon blinks and he thinks he knows what's wrong. As far as he can feel, the digital world is gone.
Mm-hmm.
And it's worth mentioning, this is not literal.
Yeah.
The phrasing is not, oh, the digital world's destroyed. It's he can't feel it. As far as he's concerned, it does not exist. They're not saying it was blown up or it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
They're saying as far as he can feel, he does not have that feeling in his gut anymore that it exists.
Either way, it's juicy.
Yeah.
I like this.
Yes. And like I was saying earlier, we have probably the best Ghost Game episode, and it gets rid of every trapping of Ghost Game. We don't get the intro. We get carryover from the prior episode. It ends on a cliffhanger. It cuts off the normal end of the episode. We actually get Hokuto appearing outside of a hologram cameo, because we've never actually seen Hokuto in the series. We've gotten holograms and flashbacks. They introduce a new Doctor character, and the only time that's been introduced in the series was we're told this is important when they show up. They know stuff. You need to listen to them. Of course, somehow they deal with the villain without dealing with it again. To be fair, it is Ghost Game. Some stuff has to be there.
It has some of the Ghost Game trappings, and some of the Ghost Game like good stuff. Like some of the stuff the Ghost Game does really well. The Dagomon stuff is very exemplary. That's an exemplary. The Dagomon side of it is a very exemplary Ghost Game episode.
Yes. That is the strangest thing, and I even see it in my notes. The episode fits the general theme of what we expect for a Ghost Game episode. It simply does it better, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
why can't the rest of it be like
this? This is the first time it got into A territory. This was an A- for me. So
if we had a junior version of this episode for 60 episodes, I don't think anyone would be upset.
Oh no!
I
don't think you can. I don't think you can do a junior version of this episode. But
I'm saying in the general usage of world building, connecting, and stuff like that.
I think like the previous episodes would have done well if I think the everyone flooding into the human world. I wish we had a few episodes to marinate on that. I think there was some story potential there. I think we could have, like you said, had a couple episodes where they introduced the little bubble. There's just some stuff that could have been planted earlier.
In fact,
would have been nice to see.
Again, the ending theme still had more plot progression than the episodes for the most part until now.
Well, that's the epilogue.
In fact, Tenya Yabuno was a bit upset. He watched the episode. He's like, I don't have time to draw anything this weekend. He actually, he wanted to draw something from the episode and post it. He just doesn't have the time.
I'm actually kind of terrified what a Tenya Yabuno version of Dagomon would look like.
I'm pretty sure he drew him in. I think he was in V-Tamer.
Was he in V-Tamer?
There's so much shit's in V-Tamer that may be my imagination, but I thought he was. Dagomon,
I don't know.
V-Tamer.
I'll go to the Wikimon article. It'll show when the hell he actually showed up.
Yeah, it'd be.
Okay, apparently not. I'm wrong on that one. Apparently.
But there's like that
Although
Dagomon.
to be fair, the list of enemies that it lists on that page that I'm searching is only like 15 or 20 long, and there was way more than that in
Yeah,
V-Tamer.
there's more than that in V-Tamer.
But yeah, I'm very happy with the episode.
It's probably in Cross Wars.
The biggest negative, honestly, this is the first time when I go, okay, the show feels like it has found its voice. And we have a month left.
With 4 episodes left.
Yeah. And it's like, here's
well,
the
we
thing.
said it's like everything could
exactly.
be wrapped up in 4 episodes, and guess how many episodes are left?
And here's the thing. If it ends this well, I'll be very happy with how it ends, and I will be saddened the entire show was not able to be as coherent.
Yeah.
Because if the show was this good throughout, I would say it's the best Digimon show there is. If it's just this good for the end, we can at least go, it ended well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the guest cast was interesting. I thought Gumdramon was part of the ensemble. Apparently not. Apparently, I didn't get any of the information because I thought it was an ensemble member. Apparently, it isn't. It's someone who just randomly was in like one episode of Hunters and a bunch of other anime. So I do not have information on her because I honestly, when I looked at the name, I thought it was an ensemble member.
I saw that she played Tepe in Hunters, and I had no idea who that was.
I don't remember.
She's not cast because of her Digimon connections. She does have quite a bit of anime. I thought she was an ensemble member, honestly, so I didn't look up any of her stuff, and I only checked a few hours ago, like, oh, it's not a member of the ensemble. Well, I have other stuff to do today. Oops.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I looked up the episode of Hunter she was supposed to be in, and I have no memory of that episode ever existing. So.
Dagomon's actor is a bit more interesting, though. Takashi Matsuyama has done a bunch of Digimon stuff, including voices in Ghost Game. So let's start at the beginning. We've gone over him before, but we did not have like the other shows. So in O2 and Tamers, he's Museumon.
Okay.
In Tamers, he's Alomon. Sneemon in Frontier. In Adventure 2020, he's Algomon, Gaussmon, Boltmon, Abatomon Core.
Okay.
A bunch of bit rolls. And earlier
bit of typecasting there.
But his typecasting breaks for Ghost Game. Are you ready for who he was earlier? He shot my paw. Come on. You know who that quote's from? Warumanzemon. In the dub of the original Adventure. When Mugen kills him.
Yes.
The shot, they show his paw dissolving, and they use that in the dub and dub over. He shot my paw.
Yes, this is not the dub of Adventure though. This is Ghost Game.
And his non Digimon roles, which I hadn't gone over last time, it was like, oh god, there's so fucking much. He's Gigastorm in Beast Wars 2, God Magnus in Transformers Car Robots. In Violinist of Hamlin, he was Beast King Guitar. And I read it for some good dubbed over roles. I only grabbed a few because of some good ones.
The last one.
Okay. In the live action Aquaman, he was King Rico. In some content, he dubs over Mr. Bean.
Okay.
In the live action Speed Racer movie, he's Sparky. And the best one, in the Powerpuff Girls, he's Fuzzy Lumpkins.
Yes.
Yeah. So next time we get the Black Zone of Death. The episode where Kiyoshiro finally takes off his armband again. And we'll pretend that he didn't do it before when he does it and things go wrong here. It has nothing to do with the armband, it's just funny as hell. So I would love if the next episode was as good as this one. Hell, I would take 70% as good.
I just wanted to keep building on this. Like
They
doubt they'll all
they don't
be
have
golden,
they don't have much time left.
They just need to keep this momentum up. Like it doesn't need to be golden. It just needs to keep going.
I would take bronze.
Like, why couldn't they have done a little bit of this earlier?
Look, if we can't get bronze, how about that? How about the blue the blue felt medal they
Honorable
give to fourth
mention?
place. Yes, give us that. And then with a week to go, we have the track list for the soundtrack. So ignoring that BGM stuff is hard to gauge. It feels
Yeah,
like
because
they finalized this half a year ago.
Yeah, a little bit.
Because like a few of these tracks are clearly things that will happen in the next few episodes, realistically. But when you look at like the end themes, it's like, oh, it's end themes 1, 3,
One.
and 5.
Yeah.
And it's not like the singles for the others had TV sizes. Like I can understand not having the last one because you're done at that point. Like I think 2020 had everything except the last one, I think. Yeah, so I would like to, like, I put spoiler warning anyways. There's nothing actually spoiler warning on these. Like, Birth of
No.
the Evil Dragon. It's not we've seen that he has a dragon form. That's not a spoiler at this point.
Yeah.
Although I will say the title to number 28 sure feels like what I was rambling about like a jackass a few episodes ago. It feels like that may happen. But yeah, so that's out next week. I have that ordered. I'm looking forward to it.
Although, for all we know, they've used some of these songs before.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, we can say Birth of the Evil Dragon is very clearly going to be him evolving, but it could also be a song they used when he appeared already.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, I will say, I think 2020 had better titles for the song. Like, Galus Gamamon is the song for Galus Gamamon. Okay.
wow.
Yeah. Although I will say, I'm surprised the Bokomon song is so far into the track list. Although to be fair, I shouldn't be surprised because we actually complained that it felt like Ghost Game was reusing tracks a lot. So that may have been
Oh, yeah. It has to
after
be.
they got there already. So that may be. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I ordered the one that came with the big cover thing. You guys know what I'm talking about or no?
Nope.
The Amazon exclusive bonus is you get like a cardboard sheet that's like 4 or 5 times bigger than the CD of the cover. Like a mega cover type thing. I think they call it
I thought
mega
you were
cover.
talking about like a music cover.
No. And
I agree, no
I would be
lag.
much more pleased with that bonus if it was not just the same post art we've had for almost a year at this point. And then we got previews of the 25th anniversary. These are more or less all things we saw during the Digimon Con stream, but much better previews. This looks so good.
Probably some juicy info here.
Like, lots of interesting stuff. I love the complete variety of sprites on the cover.
Mm-hmm.
And also, man, they really love the adventure Digivice even more than we do. The 2021 is there twice.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the Pendulum and the original VPET each only get to be there once, and they let the 2021 be there twice. The Adventure one is there 3 times, and the funny part is their own preview pages actually explain it being there 3 times. And Volcano Ota as Pile Volcamon. I love the use of the Crossword sprites. The diagonal color action sprites.
Okay.
Like, I love seeing, like, the Tactimon one there. Shoutmon is the first one in the corner. The actual book,
Zoom in.
a lot of great information. A lot of it information we've already had, just more coherently put together.
It's nice to have it like compiled in
No,
one
exactly.
place.
And also not spread out. Even in like the prior books, like here are the sprites for the Digivice, for example. That would have been 2, 3, 4, 5 pages. Here's just like, here's a bunch. Yeah, that I will order. Amazon currently has pre-orders locked out for outside of Japan, so I will wait till it's out then order
Bastards.
it. Yeah, it is very neat. I would love there to be an English version, even if it's digital only. Although then I would get upset because the translation would be Bandai quality.
I mean, I could try and translate
I
it.
could live with that just for the
Yeah.
content.
Yeah. Then, U.S. pre-orders opened up for the Kenji Watanabe V Pets. Japanese
I
pre-orders are
want
already
those
closed, sold
money.
out entirely for the Japanese
Jesus.
ones. So English ones, if you want these, get them now. And the bonus is they use our programming anyways. There is no Japanese for this at all. Yeah, I ordered both of these. I fucking want these. I really love how they look.
They're just absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
Just neon, just destroying my retinas.
Yeah.
This is exactly what I want in a V-Pet.
Yeah. And I'm gonna guess pre-orders are not gonna last super long for these. So if someone wants them, they should probably get them soon because, yeah. In fact, wait, I'm checking the page now. Are they still up? They are at the moment. Although there is that notice on the page that there's a specific number of these. Doesn't matter if it hits the pre-order date or not. They may go pop. Um, then the Jellymon Ben Memory is out. They did a nice little preview of it for Digimon Classroom, which functionally does not exist as a thing anymore. Digimon Classroom at this point is we get an episode right before a big product comes out. And it's no longer even using the classroom framing or anything.
This is here is a thing.
Yes.
Please buy it.
In fact, oddly, Digimon Con had the normal Digimon teacher, Digimon professor guy with the Digimon classroom crew. I don't even know if the professor guy shows up in the actual classroom marked episodes anymore. I think at this point they are just product ads. And then
I have not been watching them to know.
I mostly get screenshots at this point because I do not need to see the 20-minute episode about the Jellymon Ben Memory. Then they put up an info box / sprite thing for Lugamon. Nothing actually new here, it's just a better look at the sprites and some basic info. But I decided to
They're
post it.
really cute.
I decided to post it anyways because of the giant sprites.
I love the puppy.
It's
Yeah.
a puppy.
He looks so happy.
And then we're a few days away from the Digimon fan meetup. They announced that if you try out the next order kiosk, you get Survive promo cards. Have these showed up anywhere in the US other than Anime Expo last year?
I don't think
remember.
so.
Yeah. And we haven't gotten the full round of them yet that we got in Japan either, where it's just the promo art of all 8.
I don't believe so.
Yeah. So if you're there, play next. And I don't know, play next order for 5 minutes to get something free. It might be easier just not to play next order. Because here's the thing. Like, if you're going to play the new version of Next Order, I think the most exciting thing is the quality of life improvements, and you're not going to get that over
You're
a
not going
5
to
or 10 minute
experience
demo.
that in 5 minutes. But I mean, there's going to be people there who have never played Next Order before, so
But no,
they're just gonna.
but here's the thing: a 10-minute demo of Next Order is not going to convince a lot of people to buy the game.
I mean, they
it's
got
going to convince them to run.
It's something.
Yeah, I guess it's
It could be for something like later, like just battle sequences instead of soulless grinding.
That's true. You could, since you can kind of cheat putting a demo together, you actually could frame it like and pretend it's interesting.
Sort of like an RPG that that makes the tutorial fight like far into the middle of the game,
Yes.
where things are actually kind of compelling.
Yes. And then earlier today they announced there will be a Seeker's Corner at the fan meetup. They will have the linker band on display along with the quote-unquote costumes of the main characters. And it's like, okay, they all wear streetwear. You can actually put that together on dummies pretty easily.
Yeah. Nothing complicated.
See, at first, when I read it, my brain skipped past that both things were about Seekers. I'm like, are they just going to have the Agumon and Vmon costumes without people wearing them on display?
It's going to be a full-on Lucamon fursuit on display.
Do not tempt me.
To be fair, we haven't seen the Gabumon one in a while. They may have ripped him apart to make him into a new one.
Oh, God.
Rest in peace.
Think about it. When is here's the thing. We haven't seen the Gatchmon one in years, and that's probably the Gabumon one, to be honest. We have not seen Gabumon for quite a while, if you think about it. When is the last time we saw that Gabumon suit?
I don't know.
I think for Adventure 2020.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about a mascot costume. I'm talking full on suit.
Make it a quad suit.
And
Go
then
hardcore.
and then we have cards. So parallel cards continue. Dynasmon looks really good. I forget the name of that fucking dragon he can summon, but you can kind of see it in his hand.
I can never remember the name of it.
Oh yeah.
We shall call it Dragon Kun.
Yes.
And then my favorite of the previews for a couple reasons. First is Roto Nightmon looks great in this preview. Like it pops against the background. We get the Knight army behind him. And then I love it because people will message me angrily. His name's not Roto Nightmon, it's Lord Nightmon. It's like, I know what his name is.
The perennial argument.
I know how to translate his name. His name can be translated in a number of ways. In fact, at one point, Bandai was translating it with an A in there.
Yeah.
At one point they were calling him Lord Nightmon, and they're going, well, it's an accurate translation. It can be translated as Lord. It can be translated as Roto. I choose to do Roto because it is such a specific thing about this character visually.
Yeah. Yes.
That to me, the actual framing is he's a higher Nightmon anyways. He's already a Lord. So to me, you don't need that. I need the pink in the name.
I've just transcended it and just always call him Crusadermon.
How dare you?
That's not a bad one. But yeah, I really like the art on this, honestly.
Fabulous.
Then Slightmon is Slightmon. I don't dislike it, but Slightmon's one of those where you go, yes, he is a Royal Knight, but also I don't kind of care.
It's like he's a pony.
You're on the list too.
Yeah. And then Belphemon Rage Mode. Since he's not a Royal Knight, he doesn't get one of the fancy ones, but he gets really good art of him just smashing shit. Like, this looks great.
Yeah.
It's like straight up kaiju.
And then,
yes.
Then for the next one, we get Yggdrasil 76 looking like he's about to fight Kira Yamato at the end of Gundam. Actually, I put 3 different jokes in a row for the preview. It's about to challenge Kira Yamato to battle near the end of a Gundam series, something Cloud and Tifa stumble across while running around the world map, and floating down from the heavens to give a challenge to a kid in a Christmas special.
I just give them credit for attempting to do a parallel card of a static shape of a form that does not have any posability. It's just there.
Hey, I'm pretty sure those arms can wiggle a little.
They vibrate.
Yes. And the best part is no one even noticed the best part of the joke. He did, in fact, battle Kira Yamato at the end of the series, because that is Masaru.
Yeah. Yes.
Magnamon, great art. Magnamon's art suffers because it's so gold anyways.
Yeah.
Magnamon needed the background to be like silver or purple or some other color because he kind of
contrast.
Like, it's such nice art, but it kind of blends.
Yeah.
Then
I saw a really good Magnamon running around the convention I went to.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, that feels like it'd be hard to run in, or to go through doors in, especially.
They were moving very slowly, so
that makes sense. Dukemon gets some amazing art back to back with Omegamon, and the Omegamon art is basically the same thing from a different angle.
I love when they do that.
Yeah, we haven't got a lot of these. I want to say this is like the 5th or 6th multi-angle card. I don't remember the last one. Saving Omegamon for Last of the Royal Knights makes sense because it does look good, and that one's going to be very valuable, I'm sure.
Rest in pieces, anyone's wallet who wants to go for that.
Then we get Shine Greymon Burst Mode. That is a very fiery card.
That's a lot of fire in that one.
Like, here's the thing. I like it, but it's so fiery you kind of go, not much happening here.
Yeah.
Because it's...
There's I assume there's a Digimon in there somewhere.
Then Mirage Galgamon Burst Mode. You go, this is much better angle than the other Mirage Galgamon Burst card we looked at, where we kind of went, the angle's kind of fucky and he looks weird.
Yeah.
This one looks good.
Yeah.
Rosemon looks great.
That's my favorite of the burst mode parallels, honestly.
For sure.
The art is probably the most impressive of those four, to be honest. Because it also leans very hard into this almost is in your mind what the anime looks like. Like, it's that weird anime plus plus area where, like, this does not look like the anime at all, but in your mind it kind of fits.
I don't remember
This is
Rosemont
like if
Burst
they
Mode
blew the
looking.
budget.
I don't think she looked that cool in Savers.
Nothing looked
As she
that cool
does
in
here.
Savers, but that's still a compliment that it looked like you could imagine it.
Well, Rosemont and Rosemont specifically, she didn't get as Rosemont Burst Mode didn't get as much love as she should have gotten.
And then Ravemon Burst Mode's weird because when I look at the art, my brain goes, it looks like someone's tracing Batman diving or something.
It's Birdman.
Attorney
Yeah,
at law.
Yeah. Literally, the instant you said that, my brain just started going, like the Harvey Birdman song.
Oh god.
Yeah.
And then they're doing alternate versions of the parallel cards. They should have shown Shine Greymon last because he's the one hardest to notice that it's different. And did you guys notice these cards?
Only really Rosemon stands out.
Do you realize?
Yeah.
So look at Ravemon or Mirage Galgamon and tell me what you notice.
It's that
yes.
fucking binary text. Damn it.
Yes. And I'm not.
No.
I haven't checked. I think it's the same one, or it's at least the same one on these four. It's the one from that set back to haunt us again, but because it has actual framing, it actually looks cool. Because like it's actually like.
It looks fine.
You actually have to look for it.
Pasting clip art onto the same.
Now, ironically, I think the best of these four is probably Rosemon also. Because Rosemon had such like a distinctive background on the first that switching to like a color one actually makes it stand out and cool.
It really pops better. Also, the binary is barely visible.
Yes. So you don't get like angry that we're dealing with this shit again. Then we have clean card art for all the normal ones plus some recent promo cards. I did not like organizing these for the promo cards.
Better you than me.
Especially since a lot of these, for some of the box cards, are reprints of older cards. They're just hollow foil. So I also have to look at the image and make sure I'm grabbing the right image. Because it's the exact same image, but you can see like a faux rainbow effect on it to represent the hollow foil.
Yes.
Like that Gabumon card in the Chaosdramon box. There's no art difference. They did not even add the year label to it. It's just the rainbow effect. Yeah. Also, can we just say how weird it is that like the themed selection boxes? So like if you get the Chaosdramon box, there is a Chaosdramon card. If you get the Darkdramon box, there is Darkdramon. If you get the Omegamon box, there is no Omegamon.
Because fuck you.
There's a lot of Digimon somewhat associated with Omegamon, and also Dukemon is there. I think this was an event card in the US, this Dukemon. I think. Then
I don't really keep track of the US cards that much.
Then for the big Tamer Exchange meeting, they announced they're doing a limited card set for 2023. This is a purchasable item for about $14. And I actually like it. So there's 6 Digimon cards and 6 training cards. I actually like the choices. Minus that it feels like they're going for like, here are iconic villains. And also Zubamon is there. It's like, okay, like you have Seedramon, you have Edamon, Kuwagamon, Raramon, Skullgramon. It's like those are nice Digimon villain choices. And there's the gold guy.
Like, I'm the 20th.
Yeah. And then the training one where everyone's training with Pulsemon.
That's fun.
Yeah. So that will be for sale there. They've also said sale elsewhere. Fun Digica did a Booster Set 13 match. Card Battle did Booster Set 13 match. It'll be interesting to see what happens to both shows when there is nothing card coming out for a while. Like as far as big stuff comes, it's all mini things. And then Digimon Partners did their own convention report for DigimonCon. It is a very nice, like, abridged thing if someone just wants to skim quickly with their auto translation thing. It basically gives you like a couple sentences about each section and then moves on. So if you like want the heads up on everything quickly, it's actually pretty good. Minus maybe the card match, I imagine that's miserable to read like 3 sentences about it and that's it. Then we get the chart for the Jellymon bed memory, including the stuff that was blinked up before. No surprises.
I love the look
I,
of
lo- I, lo-
Cathylamon.
Which one did you say?
I love how Cathylamon looks.
It's nice to see that without the silhouette. I actually think this is a pretty good dim for water stuff, honestly. Another section clip. This time it is the 5 scene. I think they literally called it 5 scenes where Galus Gabumon appears, and in my head I'm like, that may actually be every appearance he has in the
That's
show.
every time, yeah.
Yeah.
I
It's like, oh, he had that many appearances?
No, that's 5 sounds about right. I
And-
think it's exactly 5.
And then something we have not mentioned possibly ever, and may never mention again. It was the 15th anniversary of Digimon Championship. They didn't do social art. They posted the front of the game, the back of the game, and they went, it's the 50th anniversary, and you battle.
This is a thing that existed.
Yes.
Like, this is just a V-Pet, but in a DS cartridge.
Also, if you look at the cover, Lunamon's like confused why it's there.
Coronamon and Lunamon are both like, hey, let's photobomb this.
Yes.
Trying to trick people into thinking that it might actually be, like, Dawn and Dusk.
Yes. And then, God bless them, I believe they did this last year for Valentine's Day. The Gabumon plush with a bunch of chocolate. It's like, today's Champion Day. Gabumon shares champions with everyone.
We love you too, Gamamon.
And then we get the profile art for Dagomon. Ironic.
Getting some
It's
high
funny.
quality art.
It's funny though. He looks better in basically every anime appearance.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
Like, he just looks kind of
you look at the profile art and you go, this is what we're all intimidated by. This is really
like literally every bit of intimidation for this has nothing to do with like the actual character. It's just O2 used him really well in every anime since then. If he shows up, cribs off that.
Oh yeah, I mean I remember like just getting into the whole thing and seeing Dagomon in silhouette and kind of looking into it's like, oh, what is this Digimon? Is this a real thing? And then seeing the actual profile art and being immensely disappointed.
That's depressing. Yeah. And then we have questions. So you guys in chat can throw yours in. First one was from CC Takato. At least I believe it was him. The person who posted on the forum had a slightly different name, but it was close enough that I assume it is in fact him. Because the name on the forum was Cardcaptor Takato.
Oh yeah, that's him.
I'm assuming that's
close
the same
enough.
person.
Yeah.
How long do we think it'll be till the next Digimon TV anime? Honestly, about 3 years seems to be a good round guess. Don't you think so?
It's 3 years. I mean, I'm not putting past them doing a next generation adventure.
Oh, neither am I. Like we have them.
It's
like the
They still have like the movie coming out, so
yeah.
No, but that's
at the very least.
That.
At the very least, not until the next movie.
See, here's the thing: they could pull the same bullshit they did on us last time. They could go, the movie's gonna come out spring 2024, and then as we lead up to the movie, they're like, and after the movie is a TV show starring the kids.
Like, surprise!
Yeah, which comes out like a year later.
Oh, it could be a month later if they did what they did with Kazuna.
That's true.
Like, we weren't expecting a TV show then at all. Like, yeah. Then Allison wants to know, since recent commercials have had good models, would we like a Digimon 3D anime? Well, first, honestly, those models would not work for an actual anime.
No, not at all.
Those models work with shading tricks and that they're commercials, basically. I mean, here's the thing. If the show's done well, sorry, go ahead.
I just think it would look better than it actually plays out. I'm not convinced a 3D anime would be all that great.
Well, to be fair,
Look, as much as I love X Evolution, look at X Evolution.
Right now we have a 2D anime that's not playing out that well.
Well, that's what that's part of what I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I think that if they're prepping up a 3D, like they would advertise that heavily. It's like, oh, look at how pretty this looks and all that, and they wouldn't give much thought to the writing.
Yeah.
That's what concerns me about that.
I mean, they didn't with X Evolution anyways.
Yeah, X Evolution had I have complicated feelings about the writing of X Evolution. I like that they tried to do something. I don't like how they did it.
Do we think Hakuto will evolve Terriermon?
They better not.
Better not.
Look,
absolutely.
Here's the thing. If they do a full evolution sequence, you remember how Galgomon whips his arm around? If he whips a lab coat on when he does that, that would be acceptable.
Ooh.
I don't want that to actually be in Ghost Game. I just want them to modify his evolution sequence from Tamers to show that. Coat? Yeah, just take the exact thing from Tamers and just give it a lab coat.
Yeah, I think
just give me that.
I have a better idea.
So here's the idea.
Ghost Game, don't mess with that.
Here's the thing.
Getting piloted by Terriermon Joshu.
Structurally, I don't see the point in having it be Joshu if they're going to do that without the joke answer. No, I don't.
No.
Because I think if you're bringing in Terriermon Joshu, you want him standing there with the coat as a tiny little guy saying whatever he's going to say. I think having him evolve has no point to it, especially when we've seen a Block Galgomon earlier in the series.
Yeah. Honestly, if he was to have an actual, like a traditional partner, it's probably Uver.
Do we know that they're... See, here's the thing. Uver fucked off and left before he showed up. We don't know that there's any actual connection between them outside of him using the delivery service.
It's true, but
everyone just got kind of used to that idea because Uver showed up, quote unquote, at his command. But also, Uver...
I guess I'd say if he has a traditional partner,
you would want to be Uver?
That's who I think it would be. Otherwise, I don't think he has one. It's not Joshu.
Oh, that's a risky guess at this point in the show.
Yeah, well,
that's a risky guess.
If it's like stated that he has like a traditional partner,
no,
Joshu, then
not Joshu. You're looking in the wrong direction.
Agumon.
No, not Agumon. Think more specific to Ghost Game.
Pokemon.
No, I was thinking you're thinking Glucer.
Yes, Galoose / Gamamon.
That's possible.
Yeah, I'm not saying that's what I want, but I'm saying if they were going to do it, we're going to find out it's Gamamon or Galoose if they do it.
In that case, I think that'd be an orphaning situation.
Yeah. And then someone wants to know, what do we think are the best fried side dishes? I'd like the weird food questions. This one's like hyper specific though.
It's mozzarella sticks.
I don't know. It's hard to just beat good French fries though.
It's mozzarella.
This may be like a weebish answer, but takoyaki.
Weeb.
I guess that does count as fried because there is a thin layer of oil in those cups.
Oh no, it's definitely fried.
Oh yeah, it's
definitely
fried.
Absolutely valid answer.
No, it is. I just don't think of it that way. Is what I meant. Like you think of it more like the metal pan than the actual frying.
It absolutely. Yeah, that absolutely counts as a valid answer. We're gonna make fun of her for being a weeb anyway.
Absolutely shamelessly.
I don't know. I think I would just go with fries, honestly. Or you know what the good kid answer is, but you can't give it as an adult once you find out how unhealthy it is. All the restaurants that used to have the deep fried onion.
Oh, the bloomin' onion.
Well, basically, bloomin' onion, awesome blossom, where they just chop a whole onion, but they don't chop the bottom, and they just bring you a giant onion with dip in the middle.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
could never eat that
I
to
don't.
begin with.
I don't
It's
care for
understatement.
onions, so
Ah,
I'm not an onion person.
yeah.
So the idea of snacking on onions just sounds disgusting to me. Funyuns make me nauseous.
Foods with too much sulfur in them make me die, but I can appreciate how nice they smell from a distance.
Fair enough. Okay, and then what would we want to see in the next Digimon Con?
Um, honestly, the way this one was formatted was
More?
a good,
I
pretty good,
if
especially compared to last year.
by next year, I would hope we have a little more information on the next game. That if we go a whole year and there's no whiff of a new story game or whatever, I'd be a little disappointed.
I think we just need to see more of what they did, but more exciting stuff, hopefully.
Yeah, they just need to, like we said, it was a
Yeah.
good show. They just need to clean it up.
Yeah. Also, I noticed last week, and a few people seemed confused about it. If you ask a question while we're talking about like the show and we don't answer it, it's because we didn't see it because we're talking about the show. You can re-ask when we're doing the questions, and we'll happily answer it. It came up last week. I guess a few people asked one or two things, and we just didn't see it at all because we
Oh,
were
I mean,
talking about.
that's, yeah,
Yeah. So if
that's
you
going to happen. Also, last show was so
yeah,
long that
last show
we
was
had
so
to,
long. Like yeah, chat with
some of the,
I
we
might
had
as
to,
well
chat suffered.
fucking
Chat suffered.
die.
we kind of had to pick the highlights
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
questions
Um.
because we had a ton of them.
Then someone asked, "Have we thought about how we will cover Digimon Seekers?" Not really,
No,
because here's the thing.
I'm
Here's the thing. We can't. We at this point we don't honestly know what it is. Although we did make a mistake last week. We did miss, even though I had posted it. They did in fact say it was going to run about a year.
no, we said that.
No, but we were guessing.
Oh,
Like they
okay.
actually said about a year.
Oh,
We can't
I
really.
thought we were more clear on that. I took it to mean that we were running a year. It was
Yeah.
running a year.
Yeah.
I
So
took that as more of an assumption than as more of a fact than a guess. But
yeah. So we can't. It's sort of like when 2020 began. We didn't originally plan to review it every week. We kind of did
It
the
just
first.
kind of happened.
We kind of did the first one. I went, that kind of worked. Let's see if doing it weekly will work. We don't know it's because here's the thing. Like if we get Seekers and each chapter is rich with information and things to discuss, then we could always just keep going like we are.
well, and that's doubtful though because weren't we
No, but that's what I
estimating
mean.
it be like a we were estimating it be like 1,000
Yeah,
words,
that's
and
not a
I mean
lot.
that is a good update. Like that's a completely fair update. It's not always going to be the most
Yeah.
consequential.
Well, because here's the thing also. Like, when we got something not quite as long as that, but similar with Chronicle X, I think we only ever talked about it for like 5 minutes because it was so
Yeah,
structured in what it did each time.
yeah.
There
I mean,
wasn't a lot to talk.
Chronicle X
There.
updates weren't that long. Those
No.
were only a couple hundred words.
But that's what I
But
mean. They were also very
we
structured.
still, yeah. And we also, I mean, those were certainly, it was almost like the summary of what happened more than
Yeah.
try to go into
Yeah.
any flowery text about it.
Yeah.
What I think the other big question regarding our Seekers coverage would be how often are we having a show? Because we may not be weekly.
No, that's
once
the other
Ghost
thing.
Game
Like,
ends.
it could be every other week. It could be every 3 weeks. We don't know what will be, especially in the short term.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few months where there's not new card sets coming out.
And the other, and if
there's
we
no
only
game news.
if we do every 3 weeks, then 3 weeks worth of updates, there might be some interesting
Yeah.
tidbits to go over.
Yeah. It's one of those
Like,
things where we don't even know what the schedule of the show is going to be once Ghost Game ends, so we won't know what we would do until we see what Seekers actually is.
and how much
Yeah.
ancillary news there is as
Yeah.
well.
Like if ancillary news keeps up and we have enough to talk about Seekers for 15 to 20 minutes a week, then yeah, it may be worth it to do an hour episode every week. It may
I will be
not be.
shocked. I will. I mean, even every 3 weeks, I'll be shocked if we have 15 minutes of Seekers coverage every
No,
3 weeks.
I'm not
That's
shocked
a
either.
lot.
I don't expect prose that is so deep that we'll be sitting there talking about it like we do Ghost Game, even at its worst.
Right.
But yeah, the only thought we've put into it is sort of I would assume each on our own going, yeah, I don't know what the fuck this is going to be. We'll see.
Hmm.
It's like
Because,
I have nothing else to do.
yeah,
Everything's in flux come April.
yes. So we will. And here's the thing: things we don't know what the brand has been very happy to just throw shit at us at random. Shit could wildly the conversation we're having now, like, oh, at the end of March, a lot of stuff's ending, and who knows where we're gonna be a few months from now. A month from now, we could get shit just thrown at us. They've done it before.
Much to the chagrin of my wallet.
Yeah. So we will see. We honestly don't know. Um. Then someone wants to know, what are the video games that you imagine that you yourself will never stop returning to?
Cave Story, Hollow Knight.
A lot of Super Nintendo games. I keep finding new ways to play, like Link to the Past. I've been actually playing Mario RPG again this week.
Oh, I love
Just-
Mario. I love
oh,
Mario
it's
RPG so much.
it's so easy, but it's a very refreshing RPG if you just want something simple.
It's
Um,
not only that, the personality that the game has really helps.
oh, absolutely. It's a very fun localization.
Yes.
I also am always coming back to Heroes of Might and Magic 3. Such a great old strategy game.
For me, yeah, always going to go back to Mario Brothers, stuff like the Ninja Turtle arcade game.
Also, the Sega Genesis Sonic the Hedgehogs for me.
I introduced my kid to Wii Sports Resort this weekend. That was fun. And now I kind of want to play that on my own a little
See,
more.
Resort was the one on the 3DS.
Nope, that was that was the Wii sequel to Wii Sports.
Now I'm just having flashbacks to we have a problem with all the overly enthusiastic
Oh, people
gamers.
hitting the TVs.
Yeah, no, I had to buy a new controller. I got everything working except a controller. I bought a new one. It didn't come with a wrist strap. I pulled the wrist strap out of one of the dead ones and made sure to attach it on there
Oh,
and
yeah.
made sure he's using it because dear
Oh, yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Not taking that chance.
You do not need
Yeet.
you do not need to have a photo for the podcast showing a controller sticking out of your TV.
I definitely succeeded on that front because he called me out for forgetting to put it on once or twice. So it's mission accomplished there.
Good.
Yep.
But yeah, basically anything that's fun, I can imagine going back to at some point.
I play through every couple of years. I dig out Portal and Portal 2 again.
Playing
That
Portal 2,
reminds me, I need to get them on a Switch.
playing Portal 2 with a friend over the internet was so much fun. The co-op.
Mm-hmm.
I sucked at that.
The best part about that is it was rooms like. Do you remember that block maze where one person has to stand looking at the maze and the other person has to go through it?
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember being the person telling them where to go. It's like, no, turn left. No, left. Left. No. Okay, shoot a portal. No, don't shoot it there. Shoot it up. No, not behind you. Up to the front. And then, no, why'd you walk off and not shoot the second portal? That doesn't help. Shoot the portal down. And then they shoot the portal down and they start zooming downwards faster and faster. And then they step off and just explode.
Divorce mode.
But yeah, that Portal. I would still love a Portal 3 someday. And then,
It's just exceptionally fun type of game.
yeah. Last call for questions in the chat. The last one that was sent in ahead of time was, with the most recent Digimon Amplified model kit coming soon being Shine Greymon, where do you think they go with it since they're doing Data Squad now? And there's a part B to this, but let's do that one first. I know. See, in my mind for Amplified, it really feels like Crossword stuff would work
Yeah,
well
I was
in that.
thinking Cross Wars is
Yeah.
probably the next step.
I assumed like a Shotmon Knight would have made a very good amplified kit.
Yeah.
No, see, here's what they do. They do Shoutmon X4, and the Shoutmon X4 Knight is a premium Bandai exclusive with just the shield and the cape.
God damn it.
That's exactly what it is.
They would do that.
Yeah. But yeah, almost any of the cross-war stuff would work well. I think Globemon would work well as amplified.
Yes, it would.
Yeah. And then someone wants to know, where do you think Digimon video games will go based on what they've talked about? So we know stories coming. Period. So
More
Yeah,
let's
gotcha
it's a
bullshit.
story.
let's push that aside. At some point, they have to do something mobile outside of China
Do
and
they?
Korea. At some
Let's.
point,
That's. I'm this lack of mobile after Ryorai shut down really has me wondering if they're really prioritizing
oh,
mobile. If they really have if they're really
I
thinking
think
about like
I
we
think
need to have a mobile game
I
coming
think
out
they're
soon.
prioritizing company groups in the sense that, okay, the game was focusing on getting Survive done, and they were also focused on Vital Bracelet stuff, and they're also working on various mobile games for others. I think they want to find like what's the current Dragon Ball game? Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle, I believe is the name. I think
Don't
they
keep track of that.
I haven't spent enough time in the Play
yeah,
Store to tell
I
you.
think they want to do stuff like that for Digimon, and they need to figure out what that format they want is because that's not realized. They need something. And the funny thing is Digimon characters are so gachaable.
Oh yeah, totally.
So like, I think they need to figure out that. And I think the problem they run into when thinking about it is the Digimon are what you need to sell it as. But if you don't frame it with kids well, you don't end up having people stay. You need the story thing.
Mm-hmm. Which Ryoai's demonstrated.
Yes. But I
And then
think
they killed it.
but I think they want to figure out how to do that where the gacha is more based in what you get, not and what you're doing.
Yeah.
The
Also, the money the transactions you got in Ryoai's didn't necessarily lead to automatically to better Digimon.
Yeah.
Like it just gave you more gems to use. Like it just gave you
Digimon
additional
Impact.
currency, which weren't that hard to get to begin with.
I do think one thing they have to do is we know one of the goals, and not just Habu's goal, but he said that was a goal for them was to figure out a way to make it yearly. At some point, you do have to look at porting more games. Whether the games are good or not, you do have to figure that out. Like,
As long as someone will pay money for
and
it.
here's the thing, and this is where I think he overthinks things. Like he always seemed very confused at the idea that fans wanted Crosswords Digimon, and he always kind of went, "Well, they don't have levels. We'd have to figure that out." And Bandai just did that regardless of the games, so that's done. But then, like when people brought up, well, what about Digimon World? And like we got like the whole explanation from him about why they're not doing it. It was like, well, we don't know if we should just port it or remaster it or make a whole new game based on it. It's like at some point, you guys have the game. Just port it with 2 and
Port it.
3 as a collection, and that's it. You don't just
Yeah.
just do that.
If you don't know what if you're not
Just do it.
sure that investing in a remaster is going to work, just put out the damn port,
Yeah.
get it out there and
Yeah.
see what
Yeah,
money
just throw it
comes
on an
in.
eShop,
At some
whatever.
point, it's sort of like if at some point you go, okay, maybe we should try redigitize. Then yes, you have to rebuild the stuff from the
Yeah.
3DS game to make it work. And
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure that's why they haven't is they don't want to just do like a two-screen pseudo port bullshit thing.
Yeah,
Which
totally.
now some companies do that, and it's always kind of well that's how you get the game. The problem is redigitize exists without that. It just misses a lot of content.
Mhm.
I think if they really go for yearly, at some point they will figure out how to rebuild, redigitize, and they will probably do that by porting Adventure first.
Yeah.
I think that is such an easy moneymaker
Mhm.
that whether you dub that or not,
It's kind of an easy port too.
yeah, like you just update some textures and that's basically it.
Yeah.
In
you just
fact,
do the
in
translation.
fact, Sony helps put money towards PSP to system ports. They have an emulator that you can just inject textures in, and then it just runs on the PS4 and PS5.
Yeah.
That's why I like the PS4 version of Symphony of the Night never got an Xbox equivalent on the Xbox One. It used a Sony emulator on the PS4. It's the PSP game with texture injection.
That said, Adventure RPG would be annoying to play on PS4.
Yes.
I would hope that comes out for some other
I
platforms.
think what everyone wants to play it on is Switch.
Yeah,
Switch.
definitely.
But yeah, they have to just figure out more games. And here's the thing. Small games. Fucking do Pac-Man and theme it as Agumon or Karamon from the movie. And just
give us like a bunch of mini games like in Pokemon Stadium.
Just port
Yeah.
Just port shit and find ways to just call it like the Digimon game collection and find old arcade games and swap Digimon characters into it and say they infected the games. Do Pac-Man, Dig Dug. Just do easy shit you can port. And here's the thing, like Allison said in the chat, Digimon Racing. Just take the Game Boy Advance game, throw it in and sell it. Like just say it's a port of the Game Boy game. Just do that and go, it's as it was 20 years ago, enjoy.
Hell, you could with the NSO online thing with Game Boy Advance games, you could throw that on there.
Yeah, what's the criteria for getting those on?
Probably that companies are willing to do it and not get paid a ton.
Yeah.
Because that's also the Game Boy Advance one is part of the expansion pack thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they realized.
But here's the thing.
With testing,
and honestly, there's I don't think there's a whole lot on there right now. So they could probably
to be fair,
use some more content.
Game Boy Advance just launched though, like a week ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's basically just get games out there. Yeah. I mean, here's the stupid thing. There's even basic, like, if you want a game that you could remake easily and it'd be a win, the best solution is actually the dumbest one. Find one of the studios that made one of the modern versions of Gauntlet and remake Digimon World 4/X. Make it good and just have it remade by a team that worked on one of the Gauntlet games. Done.
I'd be okay with that.
Or
I mean, the reason I couldn't play the original was because it would not fucking load.
And we've talked about before, at some point, grab Team Ninja and Koei and do Digimon Warriors.
I would love that.
We have said that. And
that
was also the
give me violence.
That was also my suggestion for the Sabers genre.
That would work for a lot of Digimon games though. Like that would work great for Crosswords.
It would work. I know, but I was going season by season, and that was specifically lined up for Sabers.
Yeah. Then someone wants to know which series did we enjoy more watching week by week, Ghost Game or 2020? For me, 2020.
Ghost Game.
For me, it's 2020. For me, it's 2020 because Ghost Game is too disappointing week by week.
So is 2020 for me.
See, for me, Ghost Game is more disappointing because I could see it easily being better, and it just wasn't.
Yeah, Adventure was just a slog.
For you, Adventure was miserable. There's no question about that. I actually don't know what the answer is for Dev.
I like seeing Ghost Game more week to week because it feels like something I can watch week to week.
That makes sense.
Adventure just like it feels more like I can just sit down and knock out 12 episodes in a row and then ignore it.
Yeah, which is probably how we're gonna watch it when it comes out dubbed.
Yeah, it just works better in batches.
Like I'm just gonna crank out 12 episodes at a time.
Yeah, I chose not to bring that up when we were talking about what might change in the next few months.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too, and honestly,
because here's the thing: we don't know how that's gonna be released. If it's week to week, we're not gonna cover it week to week realistically. No. But also, if they go nuts and release 26 episodes at a time, we're not gonna try to rush through it either.
Now, honestly, it's gonna be a case of I'm probably gonna watch like 6 episodes of it, say, okay, this is what the dubs feels like, and I might stop there. Depending on how I'm feeling, because I know what happens later.
Yeah,
I don't need to see how they dub like particular characters. Yeah, I just want to hear how the kids sound, and that's about the
dub of that one feels like it's going to be weird, because one, I don't know if they understand why the dub worked audience-wise and why that audience is still there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not
That's
sure
usually where
that
it is.
show has enough framing to allow a dub to do much that's interesting.
No.
So I don't know. We'll see. And Allison asked, maybe if Next Order sells well, they'll consider porting other World games. I'm sure someone's watching. I've no doubt. There is no reason
Yeah.
to port Digimon World unless you want to see what happens.
Yeah, and they're gonna. I mean, I want to see them do World anyway, because I think that's a whole different ball game. Because if you release World for cheap, it's a little different than trying to sell Next Order, which is a newer game. There's not any nostalgia for Next Order.
Here's the other issue.
I still want
How
re-digitize.
like here's the thing. It might sell well. I don't think as many people want Digimon World Next Order for $60 as they think.
No, not at all.
I'm not saying the
No.
game's not going to do well because
Well, and that's
there's
that's
definitely
because
hunger for games right now. There definitely
they're
is.
Well,
But
just look at the marketing for it. They're pitching Next Order like it's practically a new game. Whereas if they're going to try to market a port of the World games, they're going to play on your nostalgia for the World games that you remember playing this on the
well, to be
PlayStation.
fair, even the marketing for Next Order, it really wants you to think of the anime.
Yep, that too.
It really is trying to market for, hey, you
Like
remember
it's
Digimon on Fox Kids. Look, it's the digital world. And Machine Draymon.
it's selling the
Eh?
story.
Eh? And Next Order didn't have a great story to me, honestly. I will say, I do think it's a game changer for Next Order for one reason. Most of the issues with Next Order was it's kind of miserable to do shit in.
Mm-hmm.
That they've sped some shit up, made an easier mode, that could actually make it fun. The issue with Next Order is it is not a fun game.
But it just goes to my point that marketing as a new game, it might be worth treating as a new game if these.
Price-wise, it's not a new game.
Well,
Period.
yeah, of course.
Next Order, if you really want to sell a port, that should be 30 or 40 at most.
Should be, yeah. That's why I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it at 60. I'm waiting for a sale.
If I can,
I have other
if
things to spend money on.
if I can find a day one Steam sale for 40 or less, I would buy it.
I'd probably go down to 30, honestly. for Next
See,
Order.
I'm thinking day one if I have the time to play shit. If I'm busy with work and I see it for 40, I'll be like, I'll keep an eye on it, but I got shit to do. If it hits 30, I'm just buying it.
Yeah, I mean, it's having other. I mean, I've got plenty of other stuff to play. I have at least 2 RPGs. Like Persona 3 was re-released.
Frankly, I kind of want to replay Final Fantasy VII Remake on the Steam Deck, honestly.
I bought 6 at the winter sale, actually. Now that you mention it.
Oh, the Pixel remake.
Yeah,
So from what I've played of that, it's really good, but they made a huge fuck up.
that sounds like Square.
So, do you remember how Final Fantasy VI starts?
Kind of.
Yep.
It starts with that walking through the snow
Yeah.
and with all the
Yes.
credits.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have the credits at the beginning anymore because they have them at the end. Except it's still like timed for the credits.
Oh, so it's just them walking for 2 minutes or whatever it is?
Yes.
Oh, no.
It's just them in the mechs
That was
walking.
such a good opening
Awkward
credit
walking.
scene because it's just
Yeah.
it's supposed to
Yes.
be the opening credits.
entire-
I hate the minimalization of opening credits nowadays. They need to
Well, here's the thing. I don't mind if it's not there if it's taken into account. The issue is
they
that
don't
entire
take into account. It's just
the entire thing with 6 though is you get a long, lonely introduction, but they
Mhm.
marry that with the credits. So
Yeah.
it has a thematic purpose of being long, but also pointing out of how long this walk is. When you
Yeah.
don't have that, it's just like, well, shit. Do I have
It's
something
just a
else
long
to
walk.
do? Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, the game seems solid from what I've seen so
Okay.
far.
That's good to know.
As long as you're aware that that's going to be very strange looking at that scene.
Yep.
I think that was it there. Was that it for the chat? I believe that is it. AR, what have you been up to and what will you be up to?
I'm not sure. I might try to get something together this week. We'll see what happens. I have extra basketball this week I have to account for, so we'll see if I have any time. I'm on Tumblr at firstagent.tumblr.com.
Dev, What Wikimon article do you like people read? Better pick a good one, Dev. There's a lot of potential this time.
Dark Ocean.
Good enough.
Hmm.
And
My runner-up was going to be Agnemon, because I also saw a really good Agnemon at the convention.
Ooh, I've seen some good Agnemons at conventions.
There's been
That's a solid. That is a good cosplay choice.
Agnemon is a good solid one because since the design is guy in a suit, you get people
Yeah.
going. Because here's the thing: you don't need to like if you're doing even a War Greymon, you have to worry about the armor and the shield. For Agnemon, you
And
just
the
you just have to make
proportions.
sure you have the parts for Agnemon.
Agnemon is a very approachable cosplay.
Yes. And it's all. I don't think I've ever seen a bad Agnemon cosplay, actually. Huh.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have photos because
Yeah,
I was in the middle of another photo shoot and they were a slight distance away and at awkward angle.
that makes sense. I can be found with the will as always. And we will see you guys next week. Thank you for showing up. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.